Good morning. Hello, everyone. And welcome to another exciting episode, Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward Reread. Today, it's Dark Knight. You know it. You probably love it. And it's happening right here, right now. In case you didn't figure it out, somehow, the way that the opening song connects with what we're doing today is Batman is the Dark Knight. That's it. That's what I came up with. I had another idea, but it kind of spoils the story of Dark Knight, even though most everybody here has already played it. But, you know, we like to go into this series with the illusion that people are watching it for the first time. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop on over, shall we? It's darker out, even. Hold on. Why didn't... Oh, there it is. Thank you for the sub for 3 whole years. Thank you, Kent. Crazy that I've had the ability to have people subscribe to me for that long. Isn't that weird? I think that's weird. Hey, Curbs. Also, hi, everybody. Thanks for coming, by the way. So, as you can see, Dark Knight is now at 50. Machinist is at 41. It's trucking along. It's slower to do, obviously, because it's a DPS, but I'm committed to making sure that as quickly as possible we will be able to get back on track for actual Heavensward. And then I promise the amount of time that it takes for us to do all of the other quests and stuff is going to be much shorter, because I won't have to level any of them, because everything is already at 60. Or most everything is already at 60. But let's go ahead and swap on over to Dark Knight. Bye, Eos. Alright. Hello, Frey. The voice in the abyss. Frey has been waiting for you for a long time. I know. Sorry, man. I picked up the quest a while ago. I understand. Give me a break. I had a feeling you'd come by tonight, Ruja, and sure enough, there you are, eager to pick up where we left off. Let's start with a question, then. You must be burning with several after that last affair. What was that voice I heard? Why were you detained by the Inquisition? What became of the old woman and her granddaughter? Well, what was the voice I heard? Ah, yes, the voice. The one you heard when you first touched the crystal. An excellent question, but a difficult one to answer. Some say it's a beacon guarding the Dark Knight to her true calling. Whose is it, you ask? Only you can discover that, for each knight must hearken to a different voice. As you grow more accustomed to drawing upon your dark side, you will come to hear it more clearly. Communion will hasten the process, but we dare not conduct the rites here under the watchful eye of the Holy See. We will make for southern Fanland, for Little Alamigo. Oh, I guess I don't get to ask the other 2 questions then. Very cool. Thank you, Frey. Before we do, though, I came across something that I just wanted to bring to people's attention while I was on my way to set up for stream. I've also made sure I've gotten the most Dark Knight possible food available here, which is, of course, snickerdoodles and, scotcheroos and hot chocolate. Only the most dark and brooding of food and drink. If we talk to this gentleman here...
Tread softly, friend. The Temple Knights are always watching.
That's a little bit of a different dialogue. She still doesn't say anything, though. Little fucker. Tara, how you doing? Yeah, okay, that's the same. Alright, let's go to Little Alamigo then, shall we? Wait, hold on a minute. Being a dark does tucker you out. It's true. It's really hard leveling Dark Knight all the way up to 50 and never being able to get Edge of Darkness or Blood Weapon or any of the other useful things. Let me tell you right now, folks, if the change was not made to give you Stalwart Soul, this ability, without doing a quest, I probably would have had to level this on stream. Because not getting the second part of your AoE combo and leveling in, like, higher level dungeons would be miserable. Anyway. Little Almigo. Also, hi, Tess. How you doing? Punctual as ever, I see. Excuse me, I'm eating a snickerdoodle. I mean, scotcheroo. Don't ask how I fit it through the helmet. Communion, lest you worry, is rather simple. It's a ritual in which one nurtures the darkness within so that she may channel it more effectively in battle. That does not sound simple. That sounds hard. Do not, however, presume the risks to be any less than before. Should you partake of it in excess, you will die. Or worse. So before we begin, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to kill something for me. Something feral, something fearsome which will push you to your limits. I want to see you thrive in that moment. That way, I'll know you're ready. Ask Gundabald. He should know of a suitable creature. Come, let's get this over with. I know you're not having second thoughts. I suppose. Alright, let's go check in with Gundabald. We checked in with him also shortly before starting Heavensward as well. Hey, buddy.
A pleasure to see you again, Ruja. Do you require assistance?
Yeah, I need something to kill, I guess.
Training. Well, if you seek dangerous beast for that purpose, the Red Labyrinth is home to paists notorious for their size and vigor. Our trappers take great pains to avoid their nests and those who do not bear scars for their folly.
I pity the man who dies without scars, but these paists sound promising. Tell me more.
They've attacked caravans loaded with Aldgoat carcasses before. Smell drives them into a frenzy. This should serve to draw them out of hiding.
Cool, thank you.
Ruja, I'll always be grateful for what you did. Those young ones were on the verge of making a terrible mistake. So consumed with anger were they. I hesitated to act, and even though I saw it burning within them, as I see it burning within you now.
What do you mean?
You seek the darkness within? What a fucking weird thing to say to somebody. Have you been playing Kingdom Hearts? I will not claim to understand your meaning. I've never been able to understand Kingdom Hearts, no matter how many lore videos I watch, but I wish you well in your training.
Let's go. Okay.
Take care, Ruja. I trust you know what you're doing.
I don't. Here I go. Well, there he is. Hey, bud. Ah, they're close. I can feel their eyes upon us. Well, we're here. Show me who you are, Ruja. Show me what you can do. I'm waiting. They're just paists, Ruja. Don't pretend you haven't done this before. Why does he have to be so mean to me? Alright. Aldgoat meat. One would have to sink her teeth into the scruff of a newborn billy goat to get meat fresher than this. It's time for my favorite Final Fantasy XIV activity. Right-click to use item on spot, and then fucking right-click in another spot to spawn enemy. Yes! Let's fucking go! Hi, buddy. This is not gonna end well for you. Glorp. Delicious. That went great. Hey, man. That wasn't so hard, now was it? Especially because you out-leveled that thing by like 15. To mete out justice, to protect the weak from the strong, and so forth, you yourself must be strong. Strength is pain. Strength is suffering. Strength is sacrifice. Strength are the trucks driving on the highway outside my apartment. We must prepare for communion, but not here. Come, before more pipes are drawn by the smell. Whee! Hi. You look ready? Good. Now listen well. Close your eyes and hold out your hand towards me. Breathe deep through your nose. Let the air fill your lungs, then let it pass from your lips. Slower. Slower. Listen to my voice. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen for the other. Hey man, what's going on with your feet? That seems weird. Whatever. Our eyes are not closed, by the way. With every breath, you go lighter and slip further into the abyss. One foot in front of the other, over and over again. To the ends of the world and back again. And if time has no end, still forward and onward, over and over again. So, what did you hear? Slam poetry, I think. Interesting, but not terribly informative. Or particularly good, too. The meter was way off. But do not lose heart. That you were able to hear it once more is progress enough. I believe you'll come to understand its words, and its will in due time. I should mention that, in some instances, the voice is said to be that of another, one who the Dark Knight is fated to seek out. If that is the case, you may have a long journey ahead of you. Okay. So you'd welcome such a journey. There is something to be said for it, and for travel, for that matter, to roam free and help those in need. Yet no good deed goes unpunished, does it? I knew a woman once, wanted to be a hero, do great things, and so she did. Songs always end there, but life doesn't, does it? There are temptations more deadly than the dark side, Ruja. You should have learned this by now, but you haven't. You will. Communion is ended, and with it, our time together. We shall meet again, as we did before. Okay, bye, I guess. Blood weapon. Let's see the blood weapon animation real quick. Very cool. I'll say what I will about Dark Knight and its story and such. It's got some sick ass animations. I won't lie. Onwards and upwards. Also, I can't talk. One of the unfortunate things about this quest line is, by the nature of what it is, we can't really discuss the intricacies of what's being discussed until it's done. Because it all kind of hinges on one very particular point that that will be made clear eventually. So we'll get to that, I guess. Hey, buddy. Heroic reprise. Frey is pleased to see you, as always. You look well, Ruja. Can you guys hear the cars in the background, by the way, just out of curiosity? I'm not closing the window, but because that's too much work, but I'm just curious if people can actually hear them. Bet you never played any games where that's the case about talking about them before. No, I can't think of any. You've not heard the voice since last we spoke, I know, but worry not. If you can hear them, okay, awesome. Before I continue, I don't remember if I've told this story on stream before, but I do need to share this story. because it relates to the noises. So when I was much younger, I want to say maybe like 10, maybe even younger than that, around my neighborhood there used to be, or around the state, but performing in my neighborhood, there was like a puppet troupe that would set up like on like a library lawn, like a little, miniature stage, and they would put on puppet shows and stuff. We went to many over my childhood, but the one that I always remember was just called Katie Tomati or something like that, like a girl named Katie who really liked tomatoes. And there was a character, well, I guess this isn't about one specific character, but just in general, because it's a puppet show that's taking place outside in the middle of summer, and because of my relative proximity to where I live and to the airport, planes would fly overhead, not super frequently, but often enough that it was noticeable. And so what happened is every single time a plane would fly overhead, all of the puppets would stop in the middle of their lines and just all look up at the airplane and do that until it passed, and then immediately snap back and go back into rehearsing, or not rehearsing, but reciting their lines and stuff. And I remember on this particular show, it happened so frequently that finally one of the characters, after the plane went by, was just like, "Can you tell them to stop that? We're trying to put on a show here," and then continued on with the thing. So now anytime I can hear a vehicle in the background of a stream, or, there's like a noise that happens that interrupts things that causes people to stop, I always think of that. To make a long story short, can somebody tell those cars to stop? I'm trying to do a show here. If your affinity with the dark side is as strong as I believe, then communion is all you require. That's right, it's time to go back to church. Come with me to the burning wall. You know what you must do. Is it kill something, Frey? Are we going to kill something again? Huh. That's something I hadn't noticed before. Whatever, I'll confront that later. Foggy. Anyway, how have you guys been? Good, I hope? I don't know if anybody here is in school. Frey is the bread. I'm not sure. What's the wine? Is it darkness or shadow? Just goop? Shadow goop? Is it blood? It's just actual blood? Recovering from a back injury? Ooh. Hopefully you're feeling better at least. As somebody who has a not too horribly fucked up, but still kind of fucked up back, I can relate. It begins, as always, with blood. A confirmation of your identity. No, because the pain meds may have given you a stomach ulcer. Oh, God. What is with medicine? Why can't it just fix shit, instead of making things harder? There are axebeaks here which have grown ferocious beyond reckoning. Vile creatures, eager to prey on man and beast alike. Offer yourself to them. They will come. Then, make an offering of them to me. No more words, Rusha. Okay, fine. Axebeak. Hello? There they are. Oh, thank God I didn't pull those two golden fleas. That would have been annoying. Any more? Nope, okay. Did I actually get blood? No, of course not. Hey man, I did it. Ah, no, that's the Rouge I've longed to see. You resent this, don't you? This pointless trial? No, honestly, I've just kind of come to expect it at this point. Perhaps you even resent me for subjecting you to it. No? No, not really. Remember this feeling. treasure it. I want it smoldering within you when we commune in Camp Drybone. You should fucking hate playing this video game. It sucks. You should be playing Ghost Trick instead. Well, I would, Frey, but my chat still hasn't used up the requisite amount of channel points in order to get me to play it. Random Transformers fact, you got it, Chief. Let me finish my scotcheroo real quick. Let's see, where were we? Oh, so here's a good one. If you have seen the first Michael Bay Transformers movie at all, you may recall in it there is a scene in which the Allspark hits the ground in New York City and then suddenly turns a ton of random vehicles and other machinery into Cybertronians. Famously, one of these is a Mountain Dew machine. In the Michael Baylian way of gratuitous product placement, the Mountain Dew machine turns into a Transformer, starts walking around and shooting Mountain Dew bottles at people. Well, because Transformers is what it is, that guy has a name. His name is Dispensor. And that's Dispensor spelled with an O instead of an E. Like, instead of an ER at the end, like dispenser, it's Dispensor. And there you go. Now he has a name. Isn't that crazy? Hey, man. Close your eyes and hold out your hand towards me. You know, do the attune channeling animation that you always do. Yada yada, air from your lungs, listen to my voice, listen for the other. Oh, thank the 12, it is you, Ruja! Oh, it's Isambard. Remember, it must have been ages since we last spoke. To think that you would end up slaying the Lord of the Inferno. When you first came through looking for our missing common folk, I took you for a... Ah, but this isn't the time to reminisce. I sought you because I need your help. Do tell. Not long ago, an Amalja raiding party attacked a caravan on the road and abducted several pilgrims. We reported the incident to both the Brass Blades and the Immortal Flames, but it seems neither is in a position to muster forces at present. You know what lies in store should they not be rescued soon. Please, Ruja, there is no one else. Really? Charge into an enemy encampment filled with Amalja warriors and free some fools who should have armed themselves? Yeah, man. It's not like that's something we've done before 1,000,000 times. Risk life and limb to do the work of a dozen men all because you bloody asked? Is that it? That's what we do, or what choice do we have? I mean, that is what we do. That's the point. But that's what we do, isn't it? Every goddamn time. Fine, we'll bring them back. I thank you for... They were bound for the encampment to the southeast. And so are we. What's that guy's fucking problem? Hey, Isambard. They were bound for the encampment to the southeast. Oh boy! The nerve of some people after all you do for them. They're inside, just as Isambard said. Mere moments away from being tempered, I'm sure. Well, what are you waiting for? It's time to play the hero. My favorite song from Guilty Gear Strive. They're not far ahead. Lead the way. Hey, guys. Stop saying that. We're done for. Hey guys. Damn, they didn't even actually tie you up or put you in a cage or anything. They just kind of fucking put you here, huh? Gods bless you, adventurer. Yeah, no problem. Keep moving. We're not free just yet. We're saved. Keep running. Uh-oh. Rally! Do not let her escape. Of course there's more. There's always more. Alright guys, get running. Come on. You can go. Sir, you can put your hands down now. Run! Get yourselves to Camp Drybone. Cool. You will pay for your insolence. Blood Shower Atab Cha. Blood Shower is a good name. I like that one. Oh, what a day. What a lovely day. Somebody just got finished watching hit movie Mad Max Fury Road. Good movie. I've had my fill. Let's go. What? Oh, okay. I guess we're done. Are they feeling fray? Just didn't know when to leave off, did they? Neither did you, though, eh? I mean, look at yourself. Most of that's not even your blood. My armor is clean, bro. If this was Dragon Age, maybe I'd be covered in blood, but I'm not. Leave it. You've nothing to be ashamed of. Let's go and give Isambard the good news. Welcome back, Ruja. I heard you really gave those Amalja. What for? Good show. I'm sure you're eager to be on your way, so I won't waste any more of your time, but thank you. Come back whenever you like. We're fine, Ruja. No need to linger on our account. Pray, be on your way. Those who've never faced death do not scruple to condemn others to it. They know nothing of true sacrifice and are weak for their ignorance. In sacrifice there is strength. In sacrifice there is liberation. Close your eyes and hold out your hand toward me. Breathe through your nose or whatever. The stink fill your lungs, and then barf it all up. Blah, blah. I did it. That's the theme of communing with the abyss. And down I go. On a throne of bone she waits. Serve, save, slay, slay. Wait. Serve, save, slave, slay. They come to entreat her judgment. Serve, save, slave, slay. One by one in solemn procession. More slam poetry. So, what did you hear this time? Throne of Bone was a good rhyme. Huh. And there I was, thinking you were on the verge of discerning the truth. Your affinity with your dark side grows stronger by the day. And yet, there is a hesitation. Listen to me, Ruja. You've performed great deeds and saved countless people. You are a hero to the realm. But you are no Dark Knight. A Dark Knight accepts that she cannot save everyone, that sometimes she is fortunate to just save herself. Sacrifice, Ruja, is to renounce that which binds you, to recognize that which matters, and forsake all that does not. At the very least, you must realize that you cannot continue to carry all these burdens, unless you wish to die a slave. I'm fine, just a little tired. The communion is ended, and with it our time together. But we shall meet again, as we did once before. Okay. I guess. Edge of darkness. fuck, man, it sure is. This way. Hey, bud. Declaration of Blood. Freya's been watching you, and she is not pleased with your progress. I'm beginning to question your commitment, Rusha. You haven't heard the voice since our last communion, which means you haven't taken my lessons to heart. You know I'm trying to help you, don't you? All this is for your benefit. You listen, but you don't understand. Never mind. You're the stubborn type, I know that. We'll just have to keep at it until you open your eyes. Morby Dry Docks, that's where we're headed next. Alright, dickhead. Also, this quest is something that we could do right now, but is something that we're not going to do, because there's no point in doing it, really, until Endwalker, which is a long ways away. Hey, bud. How do you feel about the ocean? Oh, well, it answered my fucking question right there. Never cared much for the ocean myself. That friend of mine, when I told you about after our first communion, came out here together once. Long story short, we ended up just doing something ridiculously foolish, and we're lucky to make it out alive. Tried to talk her out of it, but she just had to get on that damn boat. Don't be like that, friend. Isn't the Maelstrom supposed to aid the small folk when they're in a spot of trouble? So far as it is possible, yes, but such matters fall within the purview of the Yellow Jackets, and they told me to bugger off. Can you believe that? I'm begging you, Sergeant. Wait, is that you, Rusha? Hi, how's it going? It is the legend herself. Forgive me, madam, I'd never properly thank you properly for your service to Limsa Laminsa. When I first heard Leviathan had been summoned, I feared that... Why, if it isn't that famous adventurer who's been killing primals left and right, truly the 12 must be watching over me, because you're just the woman I need. I'm the victim of a terrible, nay, heinous crime. I was waylaid by Kikern bandits near the Salt Strand, who left me with not more than the clothes on my back. And what makes you think I give a Kikern's ass about your troubles? Go and bother the Yellow Jackets like the sergeant said. I seek worthy prey, not a gang of rats. How can you say such a thing, madam? Without your help, I'm ruined. Fine, I'll help, not my problem. Fine, I'll help. Whatever. Spoken like a true hero. So, you know, the rank and file didn't seem so dangerous, but their leader was a mean-looking bastard. But considering the foes you've faced in the past, he couldn't possibly pose a threat to you. Shut your mouth and wait here. I'll be back. Hi. You'll find them on the Salt Strand, madam. That's where they made camp. Only mind their leader, eh? He's a mean-looking bastard, that one. You really don't have to do this, madam. Yeah, I do. It's my gerb. Whee! This Kikern isn't everything he's promised. I'll take it out of his hide. Let's make the most of this, Ruja. No style, no guile, just chaos. Mark your limits and push yourself beyond. Let the darkness guide you and set you free. Sure. No style. Weak, but plentiful. They may yet suffice. He has no style. Yo-Yo-Rune not afraid. Yo-Yo-Rune kill you and loot your loots. Sticky man thief. Anyway, he has no style, he has no grace. This Dark Knight has no face. Yep. Okay, guys. No loots for you. All loots are belong to Great Yo-Yo Rune. Hurts are hurtful. Frey, can you fucking Isuna this thing off me? Whatever. Tenacious bastards. Right then, the goods. There they are. Good, there's nothing here for... Oh, you look like you're doing bad, buddy. You did well. All that's left is to return the goods to their owner. Finish it. Finish what we started. Hard part is over. Now finish it. I guess we just don't care how that Frey seems to be doing bad. Hi. Ah, it's you. Were you able to catch up with those bandits? Stolen merchandise. Thousands of gil worth of goods imported from exotic locales. Yes, that does seem to be mine, but, Limlane, take me. I can't sell this. Everything's soaked through with Keycurn blood. What did you do? Carve one open and leave him to bleed all over my wares? I mean, actually, I didn't kill them anywhere near the box. I'm ruined. Utterly ruined. Madam, I demand recompense for your reckless destruction of my property. I'm a reasonable man, so I will acknowledge that you are not wholly responsible. 50% of the value should suffice. 50%? 50%? Oh, hey man, I slaughter a gang of Keycurn bandits for your precious goods, and this is the thanks I receive? You spineless sack of shit. I kill your enemies, I fetch your things, I do what you people can't or won't do yourselves. You're helpless, weak. All you do is want and need. I should have left you all to drown in Leviathan's tidal wave. At least then I would have been spared your constant bloody whining. Do not ever speak to me of this ever again. Pray forgive me my insolence, madam. Ruja, madam, you have every right to be upset, but... I think he understands, madam. Huh? Never again, madam, I promise. Honestly, madam, I don't think you had to... Frey, are you a shadow the true self? Are you me but angry and mean? Are you the don't you just want to go apeshit guy? We can't keep doing this, Ruja. You must now see what it's doing to us, what they're doing to us. These people. Never mind them, the voice is all that matters. We don't need them to become a Dark Knight. He deserved it, every word. You fuck off, Car. I'm trying to find the abyss. Now, which of these is the Ruja answer? I think ultimately she would believe that he deserves it, sure, but I don't think she would ever say that. I don't think she really cares too much about being a Dark Knight. I think she just wants to understand it. So I would say the first one. Yes, you're right. You must hearken to its words and discover your true calling. You're close, Ruja. So very, very close. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could make you see. But all I can do is guide you on your journey. And unconscious again. Chorus of voices cries out for a hero, and she comes. She smiles, she nods, and she remains silent. But she too has a voice. I will be heard. Ruja Lorelei. That's me, hi. You stand at the precipice, but do not fear the fall. Cast yourself into the abyss and you shall soar above, free at last. There are other lands than these, Rouger, lands where we are not known. Ask and we shall quit this place forever. Only once you have renounced everything are you free to do anything. When we meet again, you will give us your answer. Forgot the revelation actually comes in the next quest, despite it being literally the most obvious fucking thing in the universe here. Oh well, I guess I will wait to talk about it until we do the last quest. Alright, here we go. The final Draknight quest. Our answer. Frey was here long before you met. I knew you'd come to your senses, Ruja. Now let us go. If I never see snow again, it'll be too soon. We should go somewhere warm, at least for a little while. Wait for me near the gates of judgment. When you're alone, call out and I'll join you. Oh hey, my guy's completed a venture. Moments later, Frey departs, though in what direction you cannot seem to recall. It's this way. I literally watched her do it. And now we have to say, Frey! We have to do the Build-A-Bear thing of embarrassing yourself in front of billions of people in order to get your little plush toy. But in this case, it's in order to get the ability to turn into a zombie temporarily. Still worth it, I think. Let me the fuck out of here. Frey, where are you? Wait, I know that voice. It's Rouge Lorelei, the hero of the Scions. Hello. Allow me to say what an honor it is to meet you, madam. I mean, by the Fury, the woman who bested Shiva. Every knight under Lord Drillemont's command knows the tale. I could go on, but, well, I'll just say it. If I may, madam, we need your help. We've got a giant problem, madam. A band of them has taken to raiding caravans passing through Danafin Pass. We think they may be planning to expand their territory. Lord Drillemont wants them gone, but you know how it is. Too much work for too few hands. We need at least 24 knights to clear them out safely. Now that you're here, madam, we have nothing to fear. Aye, why, you create a distraction, you can slip past and put their leader down. Without him, they're sure to cut and run. So will you help us, madam? We beg of you. I'm looking for my buddy. We beg of you! Okay, fine. Thank you so much, madam. We won't forget this. Pray accompany me to the pass, madam. We can discuss the finer details of our plan there. No. No more. Enough. Well, if I know anything about Frey, I'm sure he won't mind if we go help these people real quick. I think he'd be cool with it. Hi. The leader should be somewhere in the tunnels, madam. Once you're in position, we'll launch our attack. If all goes to plan, you should only have to contend with the leader and his guards. May the Fury guide and protect us. We'll do our best to keep them distracted, madam. Oh boy, here we go. I genuinely forgot about this part of the quest, I gotta be honest. Hey guys. Got him. Easy money. Hello, I did it. Am I coated in their blood and stuff?
By the Fury, you really did it. And you made it look so easy. As for us, there were some injuries, but nothing serious. It was starting to look rather grim, actually, but the moment he fell, they sounded the retreat. It was an honor to fight with you, madam. You really are everything the bards say. Truth be told, I've been following your deeds for some time now, ever since you first came to Whitebrim Front. Your martial prowess is widely known, of course, but what I truly found inspirational was your compassion for the common man. How you would risk your life without thought for fame or fortune, or how the lowest among us could find a friend in you. Sir, sir! Is something wrong? It's Lord Drillamont, sir. He heard we were in the field with Ruja and is demanding she come to Whitebrim Front at once. Demanding? What is the meaning of this? Certain allegations have been made, sir. It would seem that she was observed conversing with a corpse in the broom. Not that anyone would ever believe such slander, of course.
With a corpse? I mean, we're all corpses if you think about it, right? Maybe that's what he means, like a metaphorical sense?
Surely there's no need for concern. I mean, conversing with a corpse? What fools did they take us for?
I don't know.
I should warn you, madam, that some of these allegations were made by Temple Knights. You may be asked to surrender your weapon.
Then I'll just switch to monk. Hey, guys. Oh. Frey, you are not helping.
Surrender your weapon. After what happened in Old Ah, they must be mad. Pay attention, Ruja. This could be the greatest moment of our life. That is, if you could stop the denying the truth that's been staring you in the face since the moment we met. Say it. Say my name, my real name, our real name. Come now, you knew Frey was dead from the beginning, but you didn't care. You had a sword and a soul crystal, but what you wanted was a mentor. A mentor with the gifts and the knowledge, a dark knight who could guide you on the path, who you could aspire to become. A woman who was free to say and do the things you could not. Even now, you continue to deny it. Well, deny me all you want. You cannot deny what we've done. Have I not been good to you? Have I not given you everything I promised? Did I not help you to hear the whispers of our very soul? Open your eyes. Look. Do you see now? Do you see? Oh my God! How can you see without your glasses? Everything up to now has been your story. And everything after now will be mine.
Oh boy. Embrace the abyss, set yourself free. Okay. Come here, dickhead.
You can't really kill me, you know. Oh, you'll try, but you'll fail.
May as well put the blade at your own neck. But where would that leave us,
Pull yourself together, Ruja. You're stronger than this.
Oh, hey, Drillmont. How you doing, buddy?
Friends, really? This is a private affair, and you know it. Things are certainly coming to a head, aren't they? But carry on pretending otherwise, if it please. Do you have any idea how ridiculous you look? Flailing about like a wild beast in a battle against yourself? A house cannot stand divided, Ruja.
Oh, look, you're doing it again! Bravo, Ruja, bravo! Ow. Anguish. Why are you such a dickhead to me, man? Oh. Bubo burst! What does that mean? What's a bubo? This fucking guy had an attack called Bubo Burst. Cool sword. Where can I get one of those? It would seem I underestimated myself, but no matter. They have borne witness to the darkness within us. What lies beneath the mask? Oh, I guess I should have been using Persona 5 music then. Ruja, listen to us! Were these dickheads? We will never forsake you, no matter what. We know who you are, Ruja, we know, and so do you. My glasses are fogging up. Fantastic display of willful ignorance. Wipe the slate clean, forgive and forget. Convince yourself that she can be controlled. The warrior of light, our weapon of light. It isn't too late, Ruja. We can still be free. Ruja? I think that's you. Again, I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. Dark Knight armor doesn't come with glasses, so this is your answer. Listen to my voice. Listen to our heartbeat. Listen. Rasengan. If that's how it must be, then so be it. But know that when you tire of this charade, I shall be here, waiting to take the reins. You need only ask. No, I don't think I will. I think you can go fuck yourself, buddy. I did it. Hey man, how you doing? Praise Helona, you're all right, madam. For a moment we feared we'd lost you forever. Lord Drillmont made it clear that we will speak no more of what happened. Not that he had to ask, mind. As for your friend, I am told he will be interred with full rites. May his soul rest in peace. Are you certain you're all right, madam? You seem a little... Never mind. Fare you well. You can now become a zombie. I've suppressed my dark side, for now. And that's Dark Knight. Part 1 of Dark Knight. And, you might notice, unlike... well, not unlike, but, well, yes, unlike Astrologian, that story is pretty much actually over. We don't really have a direction to go, unlike Astrologian, where we absolutely do have a direction to go. And also, like, Machinist will, when we do Machinist. 30 to 50 Dark Knight is pretty much its own story compressed into it, and then 10 to 60 is, 50 to 60 is another story entirely. But all in all, I think that's a fine story. I think that I have a lot of personal feelings on it that maybe conflict with the message of it that I will talk about in a bit. But one of the things I wanted to mention that I noticed while we were doing that I hadn't noticed before, is I didn't realize that it actually changes phrase pronouns to whatever gender your character is, which, to me, immediately spoils the ending of the story. And maybe that's just me, because, like, I have, like, I've done this story before and I know how it ends, but, like, if you look at Frey's model, that is not a female Heur's model. Like, it doesn't use the same animations. Regardless of what race your character is, that's a dude. Like, that's a dude's model. And I'm not saying that, you know, it has to be sexually dimorphized in-universe in that way, or in fanon, or how you make your Warrior of Light appear, but, like, for all intents and purposes, that is what it is. And I don't know, I just feel like that kind of spoils it a little bit. And initially I thought to myself, oh, well, it doesn't matter too much, because the only times Frey is actually referred to as pronouns is in the, like, the quest log journal entries, which nobody ever reads except for me. But then it just says it in the opening quest box, which I don't know how many people read those either, but, I mean, they're there, I guess. But, like I said, that is, hang on, just look at this real quick. Yeah, that's the beginning of the next series of Dark Knight quests, but we'll get to that. For now, normally this is where stream would end, and it's been very short. We've only been going for about an hour now. But there is one thing I wanted to do before we left for the day, and who knows? Maybe we'll do, like, I don't know, we'll sit in dungeon, maybe doing some machinist stuff, or I'll just end early. I don't know how I feel exactly. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the Dark Knight questline and the way that people feel about it. So I would say that fairly universally, at least from people that I've seen playing this game who have played Dark Knight, they find that Dark Knight is their favorite job storyline. And I don't agree. I think Ninja is my favorite. Ninja and Rogue, specifically. But I can absolutely understand people who do feel that way. I'm just not one of them. But I wanted to take the time to talk a little bit about a couple of things. Namely, one, the translation for the Dark Knight quests, and I'm going to touch on this. I'm going to touch on that one specifically a little bit more once we have finished the Dark Knight quests in all of the Heavensward Dark Knight quests, so up to level 60 ones as well. But I've talked about before how 14 has a lot of very, very big differences from the original script to the English script, or more specifically, from the English script to basically the script in literally every other language. I don't remember if this is a quest line, or this particular part of the quest line is one that particularly suffers from a bad translation, but I know some later ones are. And I have some posts from somebody that I respect very immensely on famous website Tumblr, who is playing through the game in German and cataloging the kind of differences between the quests there. And we'll go into that later, like I said, but I also wanted to read a little bit from this post that I found. It's my new favorite post. It's from Emery Lurker of the Loch on Tumblr.com. And it's a post titled Dark Thoughts, a solid B at best. There is a kind of a foreword here that talks about, or they also, this post also starts talking about the 50 to 60 quest, but we're going to skip to the part that has the quest line that we've actually done here. But let's read the opening bit here. Dark Knight is often heralded as one of the best quests in Final Fantasy XIV. Indeed, this is how it was introduced to me. Highly recommended, suggested to be done the moment it was unlocked. I was told that it was an incredible storyline, one that had to be experienced and was best experienced as soon as possible. It was in this context, and precious little else, that I went into this quest line. I found myself disappointed. I commented to my dearly beloved, who had recommended this questline to me, that I found it a worse version of the Rogues Guild. It is at its request that I am performing this write-up of my thoughts, and that I am sharing them with you all. She also encouraged me to push forward to complete it up until level 60 and see how I felt after that, and so I did. Let's see. Let's scroll down to there's a little bit further here that goes into who this poster is and their background with the game. But ultimately, let's go ahead and skip to 30 to 50 here. Dark 30 to 50. Don't you want to go apeshit? Here we are, the Dark Knight 30 to 50 questline, the one people seem to be oh so fond of, the one that introduces Frey, the Dark Knight slain by the Temple Knights. We begin by collecting his Spirit Stone, and that begins our communion with him. As I understand it, this is the portion of the story which hooks people, which draws them in and keeps them interested. I hated it. Now, perhaps that isn't fair. Hate is a powerful word, and I don't honestly believe this quest is deserving of that title. It was, however, an incredible slog to get through. The quest lines were at best frustrating, and Frey as a character was edgy, hateful, and all around more of an annoyance to converse with than an excitement. Were it not for the assurances that things got better, then that this storyline was worth sticking with, I don't believe I would have ever finished this questline. As much as I would love to dive straight into the issues I had with it, some context is first required. Questline shares an overarching theme. These people are weak, they are taking advantage of you, and you should be angry about it. This is an idea that comes up multiple times within the storyline, most obviously in the Little Alamigo quest, where you are asked to slay some monsters that are terrorizing the locals, and then in the Lenosha quest, where a merchant asks you to retrieve his stolen merchandise. In the former, Frey, your mentor on this journey, critiques the people of Little Alamigo for being weak, and mocks them after being terrified when you return, covered in the monster's blood. In the latter, the merchant complains after you destroy his merchandise, covering it in blood, and demands you pay 50%. Frey viciously insults him, and the guard standing nearby has to calm you, saying he's certain the merchant has learned his lesson. Now, both of these quests share another feature as well. Both are the result, not of personal failings on the part of the quest giver, but that of the society around them. The merchant in Lenosha tries to petition the guards for help, but they are spread too thin due to mismanagement. It is their job, but there are none to do it. In Little Alamigo, the refugees have been rejected by the city of Ul'dah, something which comes up in an earlier quest where you have to save some of the young refugees from getting themselves killed in an ill-thought-out rebellion. You guys remember that one from ARR. Had these people not been failed by their governments, neither of these quests would be required. However, does Frey ever acknowledge this? Indeed, does the questline ever acknowledge this? No, it simply says we should be angry at them for being weak, angry for not being strong enough to simply solve these issues themselves. Now, this belies an issue I find throughout the whole questline, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The issues I draw with this questline are twofold, and they must be addressed as such. One regarding the metatextual context around it, that is, how the questline intersects with me, the player, and one regarding how it intersects with the player character, the Warrior of Light. The Dark 30 to 50 questline seems to be attempting to draw upon some resentment and anger within the player, resentment towards the game, towards the quests it has asked of you. This I found confusing in the first, and all the more frustrating as the quests continued. And you were forced to agree with Frey, forced to engage in this resentment and hatred. This, in hindsight, is deeply amusing and rather ironic. The quest is most meant to address frustration within the player base, causing deep amounts of frustration in the process. This does, of course, beg the question, what frustrations is it attempting to draw upon? At first, I had no real answers to this. After all, nothing in this game had caused me all that much frustration. If it had, I simply would have quit before reaching this point. However, discussions with others enlightened me. People found the side quests frustrating. Collecting flowers, defeating enemies, being asked to do these with no real seeming purpose behind it. These are, apparently, often regarded as chores, tasks one simply must do. This baffled me. After all, we are playing the Doing Tasks game. Why would you complain about doing tasks in the Doing Tasks game? Is this not what you signed up for? Apparently, for many, the answer is no. No, they view these quests as a chore that they must do in order to engage with more of the narrative. This is honestly wild to me. After all, if it's just the narrative you're after, why not simply watch a Let's Play or a stream, or simply read the story? Why spend so much free time doing something you hate when you could spend it doing something you enjoy? The other frustrations people seem to often express is with the Titan questline. For those unfamiliar, or those who have simply purged it from their mind, before you are able to fight Titan, you have to do a series of quests for the company of heroes. They're the only other people who have faced Titan and lived, and have no desire to send an adventurer they don't know to their doom. Y'shtola complains of these pointless tasks, something I have been informed echoes the views of many of the players, but I never understood the levels of frustration people express. The first quest was fine, though nothing memorable. Same is true of the second, though it did begin to tickle at frustrations. However, upon being assigned a third, seemingly pointless quest, it became clear. This was simply part of the game's version of the Karate Kid's wax-on, wax-off part. Series of seemingly pointless activities, all ultimately designed to test and train you and ensure you are ready to face Titan. Indeed, the game confirms this. Somebody just jumped off the ledge in the fucking bar. This makes sense from a narrative perspective. These heroes, who were among the strongest of their time and at their peak at the time of the fight, barely survived. Why would they be willing to send an untested adventurer to face Titan, with nothing but assurances that you're able to do it? Additionally, this series of quests both introduces you to former members of the company and to the perils of facing Titan. It escalates the stakes by showing you what happened the last time somebody dared to face this primal. By showing you this, it serves to raise the stakes higher and higher. Why would somebody be frustrated by this when it serves only to hype up the upcoming fight all the more? Of course, this was explained to me as well. Apparently people regarded these quests as pointless filler, wasting their time while Titan was a threat. A notion I cannot agree with, but a perspective I can see. Indeed, the game even acknowledges it with Y'shtola's insistence that you are wasting precious time. Of course, this was explained to me as well. Apparently people regarded... I read that. So with this lack of frustration established, where does this leave us with the Dark 30 to 50 questline from a meta-textual perspective? Well, it leaves us with the game trying to reach for resentment that isn't there, and upon not finding anything, forcing it to exist there instead. It removes agency from you as the player. It forces you to agree with Frey. You're given dialogue options, you're given choices, but both are not but agreement. You're given a false choice, forced to agree, forced to go along with this resentment that you never felt. It leads to feeling forced and contrived, drawing upon resentments that never existed, bitterness that isn't there. It feels like the story has suddenly taken a turn for no purpose other than to simply engage in what can only be described as being edgy. It asks the player, aren't you tired of being nice? Aren't you tired of these weaklings bothering you with their problems? Of course not. I signed up for this. Once again, this is the doing fetch quests and killing monsters game. Why are you mad about doing these quests in this game? Indeed, actually, hang on, sorry. Okay, yeah, this last paragraph here in this particular section talks about a quest that we have not seen yet in the 50 to 60, so I'll skip that one. And in the meantime, I'm gonna grab myself a thing of water, because my hot chocolate's gone, and I need water. Okay, there we go. So, next part. So, we've discussed the metatextual issues, but what of the in-universe ones? What of the issues with the story itself? Well, for this, let's look at the things that Frey presents you with, your frustrations with. These weaklings demanding your time with their menial tasks others should be sorting. However, as we've already addressed, these aren't issues caused by the people in need. They are structural failings caused by lack of government organization, explicitly in the case of the merchant, and implicitly in the case of Little Alamigo. Indeed, the story has already covered how Little Alamigo is full of suffering, abandoned, and failed by Ul'dah, and deeply wary of strangers given how many have brought them harm. Why would our Warrior of Light come to resent these people for their struggles? Why would we hate them for being weak? The answers I have received to this are twofold. The first and most common one is that they feel entitled to your time, when you have more important matters to attend. Indeed, you are the great primal slayer, the Warrior of Light, a force beyond any other. You face the Ultima weapon and an Ascian and survive both. Why do they bother you with their little problems? To this, I find the retort very simple. For one, what more important matters do you have to attend? And if it's main story, are you not already neglecting it in order to perform these acts with Frey? And for a second, if you come to resent them for asking these things of you, why did you become an adventurer? Was it for fame, fortune, simple wanderlust? Did you not sign up to perform such tasks to help those in need? Indeed, is your name not already known through the land? Are your coffers not richer than that of the greatest kings? Have you gotten to journey to distant lands, seen corners of the realm that you otherwise never would have? Why did you become an adventurer? Was it not to help people with matters such as this? The second answer I feel, or I hear often, is that these people feel entitled to your time. They feel that they are entitled to demand your help, demand your strength, that even if you are happy to help, doesn't it become tiring to help so often? To this I find a different answer. First and foremost, you are able to refuse. You are able to ignore quests, walk away. Hell, you're able to simply focus on doing the main story in dungeons if you wish, and never engage in any of the side content. Secondly, to the notion that it becomes tiring, the Warrior of Light is one of the strongest forces to exist on the world. Can you guys stop jumping off the ledges in the bar? Whatever. They were able to face an Ascian and not just survive, but defeat them, banish them from this mortal realm for a time. These mere monsters that terrorize others are child's play for them. The game even acknowledges such, with Frey making notes that such pathetic monsters offer no challenge. So why then would the Warrior of Light find frustration with this? The Warrior of Light, who for so long has been happy to help others. Where would this resentment towards the people come from? People who are hurting, who are suffering, who are just doing their best to survive. People for whom defeating these monsters is a Herculean task, where facing them might demand a squadron of guards, and yet you dispatch them with the ease of kicking a football back to some playing children. I find issue with this resentment because I find no resentment. Not towards the people who are hurting, these people who are suffering just as you are, these people who you fight to save. No, if the resentment is anywhere, it's towards the governments, towards Merlewip for not managing the Yellow Jackets better and ensuring the merchants weren't being robbed, towards the Syndicate, who would let the refugees of Little Alamigo suffer so they might have another coin within their coffer. The resentment is not towards the individual, but towards the systems that mistreat them, just as the systems mistreat you. Of course, I'd be remiss to discuss the Dark 30 to 50 questline without mentioning the ending. For all my issues with the storyline, the ending unambiguously rocks. Aside, I do agree with this. Facing off against your inner darkness, against this resentment that is built up in a battle of the mind-esque moment, especially with your friends coming out to support you and back you up. I mean, it's Drillmont. It's not really your friend. It's just some guy who likes you. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing, and this fight is no exception. Despite my issues, this ending absolutely rocks, and is honestly one of the only parts, if not the only part, of the 30 to 50 storyline I found enjoyable. I don't have much commentary to put here about this, it's just a really, really cool scene. If you didn't see this twist coming, I'm sure it's an incredible reveal. I predicted it shortly after you were told the merchant had had enough, but it's still a delight to experience. Shame about the rest. Throughout the whole quest line, something had bothered me. Something squirming at the back of my brain. Something about it just felt off. It wasn't until I had almost finished the entire quest line that it clicked. The whole thing was deeply American in its execution. From the rage it tried to draw out of the place, out to the place the anger was directed, it all felt incredibly American. The most obvious example I can give is Frey's mockery of the people you help for being weak, and his questioning of why you help them. The implication here is, of course, that they should simply solve these problems by themselves, that they should simply pull themselves up by their bootstraps, simply fix it themselves. Blaming the systemic failings of the whole matter upon the individual and placing the blame entirely upon them is a very American narrative. Now, every issue you are faced with over the course of the 30 to 50 questline, from the Temple Knights attacking a girl, to the refugees at Little Alamigo, to the merchant who had his goods stolen, all of these are the result of systemic failings. The Temple Knights are able to get away with these crimes because the Holy See allow it, provided they brand someone involved a heretic. The refugees have been abandoned by Ul'dah. The merchant has been failed by the Yellow Jackets. Every single one is the victim of a systemic failing, and yet Frey cares not for that. Only that they are weak and you are strong. This is, perhaps, the greatest failing of the Dark Knight questline to me. It promises a story of justice, one of being willing to do what others won't, of crossing lines and be willing to sacrifice to save the weak. and then mocks them for that weakness. It promises noblesse oblige, and instead delivers might makes right. So where does that leave us? The Dark Knight questline is far from the worst thing that has been put to ink, even within this game, but I think it's hardly deserving of its title as one of the greatest job quests. It is riddled with flaws, and whilst the bones of an incredible story is there, the story at current simply falls short of what it could be. If you're looking for a story about doing justice and saving people without being a hero, do the Rogues Guild questline. Covers the idea of doing good without being a hero, has the found family, uses levity well, and it doesn't have people jumping off cliffs in a bar. And it uses levity well, rather than having it undercut the narrative tension. It even features the guild leader telling a kid, be good, listen to what your mother says, and you'll never have to see us. Dark Knight ultimately feels like a promise that failed to be delivered. What's present is decent, especially in the latter half, but I cannot in good faith say that it is anything above a B. The first half is a slog, and both halves have too many structural issues. Thank you for taking time to read this. Blah, blah, blah. They're going through Heavensward, mostly blind still, and there you go. And that is all of the post that we are going to read thing today. So, that, I think, does... I remember when I gotta say, when I saw this post, I thought to myself, Jesus, that really does put to word every single criticism that I had about that questline in a way that I could never have phrased myself. I remember my first reaction to when Isambard asks you to save those people was like, yeah, sure, I'll save those people. They got captured. That sucks. And when Frey said, no, we don't want to do that, they're weak, they should have done it themselves, I'm like, you know, Frey, I kind of want to save the suffering refugees. Like, I feel like that's just kind of the... Like, there's no way you could frame that in a way that wouldn't make me want to do it. And the fact that he was trying made me think he was a dickhead. And yeah, it did. Ultimately, I think this is a quest that actually suffers from... Well, actually, here, let me think about how to phrase this exactly. So, without talking too much about the events of Dawn Trail, I would say that the reason why I like Dawn Trail so much and I dislike this part of the questline so much are the same thing. And additionally, the reason why people like Dark Knight and some people don't like Dawn Trail as much is also the same thing. It's a disconnect between how you see your character and the lore and everything that you have written about your character versus what's actually in the game. Because no matter how much stuff I've written about Ruja, how much backstory and character stuff I've come up for her, none of that exists in the game. None of it is reflected. It's all outside of the game. And when that perception of that character goes over what the game is actually showing you your character is, people get annoyed. So, if people are annoyed by doing side quests, despite the fact that the Warrior of Light isn't, then there's that disconnect there, and people get upset. One of the jokes told about this game is that you can name your character something really stupid, but by the end of it, you'll have fallen in love with that character with that stupid name by the end of it. It's kind of like D&D in that respect, although in D&D you have far more control over what your character does and how they feel and how the game world treats them. But not in 14. In 14, your character has very, very clearly defined things about them that, while are there in order to make it so your character can be as malleable as possible, are still there in a way that exists as a hard framework that you can't get out of. Because there's no real way to do that, especially not in an MMO. But that's kind of about all I've really got to talk about right now. I apologize for how long-winded this discussion has been, but this was something that has been cooking in the back of my mind for a long time now. So hopefully it wasn't too horrible to listen to. But I think that's going to probably do it for me tonight. Once again, apologies for the short stream, but I've still got my early night that I have to get into tonight. I still have to eat dinner. I've still got work tomorrow, and don't really have anything else that we could really do on stream because Machinist still has to be leveled. But hopefully, once that's done, and once we have finished Machinist, then we can get back into some little longer streams while we go through story stuff. And also, we'll probably try and get back into having guests on, because even just talking this much for an hour has really dried my voice up. So, yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Let's, Anyway. What fun. Good old Dark Knight. It sure is. That's what people say about it, is that it sure is. Let's see. Who can we raid? Oh, yeah, let's do, yeah, I have an idea of what we'll do. But before I do that, let me just sign off fully here. So, once again, thank you guys very much for joining me. Apologies for only one stream this week. I've kind of gotten caught up in some other stuff, and since it was the first week of school starting, work was getting into a little bit of a swing of thing over there, so, you know. But hopefully I'll have some more days open to stream the next week. But until then, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you next time for another episode of ACAB. See you then.